Welcome to One Sport. It is officially crunch time in the Prada Cup. The semi-finals get underway tomorrow, a do-or-die series between American Magic and Luna Rossa. For the Americans, it's been a rocky ride just to get to this stage. But as Michelle Prendeville reports, they're confident both in their boat and in their Kiwi at the helm.
If Dean Barker is a man under pressure, his American Magic team is certainly not letting it show.
He's as prepared as anybody's going to be in the entire world to go and win boat races this weekend.
And he has to be. It's now do or die for the American syndicate. On just their second day of testing Patriot 2.0, she's been given the tick of approval ahead of tomorrow's semi-final, already being thrown into some shaky manoeuvres.
It's not a new thing to us to be on a knife's edge all the time. You have to push the boat hard. Otherwise, it doesn't really respond all that well.
The response so far has been remarkable. Ironically, it's in part thanks to the help of the semi-final competitor. Luna Rossa's Shannon Falcone, a key figure in rescuing Patriot. Now he'll be an even bigger one in trying to eliminate her.
The fact that they're back out in the water 9 days later is mind-blowing. So they're going to be definitely galvanised as a team to come out and hit us hard this weekend.
The Italians have used the past week to develop their boat. Surprisingly, the Americans have managed to as well, somehow fitting in time among repair work to improve their foils.
Can you quite believe what you have been able to pull off?
No. I mean, it's shocking.
And in spite of very different build-ups, neither side is blinking.
Confident. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't swap our boat with any other team's boat.
It has to be a turning point for us, and we're gonna use it as best we can.
Has it brought you guys closer together?
No doubt. No doubt we haven't really had a moment where our entire team has been on the back foot together like that.
With everything this team's worked for now at stake, we'll soon see whether the Americans can really pull off some magic. Michelle Prendeville, One News.
Here's a reminder of how the Prada Cup racing will go from here on out. From tomorrow, American Magic and Luna Rossa will compete in a best-of-7 semi-final, with the loser eliminated from Cup contention. The winner goes on to face Ineos Team UK in the Prada Cup final. That's a best-of-13 series, or in other words, the first to 7 wins. Whoever else comes out on top there wins the Prada Cup and earns the right to challenge Emirates Team New Zealand in the America's Cup in March. And again, it's first to 7 wins to claim the old mug.
American Magic has had another close call on the water, narrowly avoiding another capsize in the build-up to tomorrow's Prada Cup semi-finals. The team will line up in 2 races against Luna Rossa to begin a Challenger Series experts are saying will be the closest in America's Cup history. Michael O'Keefe has more.
American Magic heading out for more valuable time on the water. A productive first session yesterday, fueling the desire to improve.
Still a little bit more to iron out with the boat, but it was impressive considering that it hasn't been sailed in the state it was in the last time it was on the water.
Wednesday's return to the Waitemata wasn't all plain sailing though, as Patriot produced a big splash late in the day, a result of some technical issues they're still trying to iron out.
We had a battery trip at one point where you lose control of some of the functions and you kind of just along for the ride, but there was a few things have been put in place to resolve that today, so hopefully we're in control all day today.
It seemed so, but it showed why they were happy to get out yesterday, a day earlier than planned. It gives them more time to test all the technical elements on the boat ahead of a tough semi-final.
Well, this is a really brutal series the way it's set up. You've got 2 races a day and it's the first to win 4 races. So if they did race tomorrow, then the whole thing could be over by Saturday afternoon and, one team's packing up to go home.
The British Challenge has already proved comebacks are possible. In December, they were by far the worst, but now they're top qualifier and waiting in the Prada Cup final.
Despite all their speed and, science and everything else, they're just so closely matched, it's incredible.
But the Americans think they have something the Italians don't.
I feel like we are a much stronger, much tighter unit now. And hopefully that will help us through the tough times and the good times the next 3 or 4 days.
American Magic's resolve about to be put to the test. Michael O'Keefe, News Hub.
Building ahead of the America's Cup, and while lots of us are loving it, there are plenty of us who have no idea what is going on. You've watched this thing since Chris Dixon in KZ7 in Fremantle. Jibe, tack, jib. starboard, port, whatever. What does it mean? That's why we've got a Sailing for Dummies guide to help you out. Joining us now is Sail World New Zealand editor Richard Gladwell. Richard, g'day. Good morning.
Greetings. How are you?
Well, yeah, good. You've already had to put Mark straight, haven't you? Because he thought a jib was a jibe.
Yep,
No,
yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
There was a misprint in the notes, and I was confused because I knew what a jib was, and I knew what a jibe was.
And what's a jibe?
Jibe's when you're changing course and the wind's behind you, and you just swing through that, so it comes from coming in there to coming in there.
That's downwind, is it?
Yeah, downwind.
Okay, and a tack?
Tack's when you do the same thing going upwind. So wind's coming towards you, you've got to go from this side to this side, and that's a tack.
Right,
so
okay.
your bow swings through
And the
a right angle.
And the jib's the front sail.
Jib's the front sail, yeah.
Right, let's go to leeward. What's that?
Leeward's the other side from what the wind's coming from. So if the wind's coming from here, that's the windward side. This is the leeward side.
Okay, it's the opposite of the wind.
Yeah.
Who came up with the term leeward?
Oh, these are all old sailing ship terms. I mean, they go back for time immemorial, and they just keep coming on into the sport.
And what's the opposite of leeward? Is there another word for that?
No, the opposite to leeward's windward.
Windward, okay. Yeah. Well, that's nice and simple, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Everything's
Finally.
one or the other.
Can you talk us, Richard, through the beginning of the race and why is that so important and what happens there?
Well, it's two approaches with it. You can either do it starts, the 10-minute signal goes off, and then at 9 minutes they start counting the wind down. So see whether it goes above and below the limits. And then at 2 minutes, the boats enter what they call a gate. So they come in and it's basically a game of chasey around the start box. They can't go outside the start box, which was, sort of a delimited area there. And there's two things. You either do it, you try to get control of the other boat. In other words, you're trying to lock them up and get them to the... what really happens is it's a time on distance thing. So if you've got control on the other boat, you're actually trying to push him over the start lines so that he's stopped or so that he falls off his foils. And then, if you get the timing wrong and there's plenty of time to go to the start, then the other boat just takes off on you and you're left sucking his gas.
You give them bad air, won't you?
Yeah, well, it's, sucking the gas.
Is that a term?
Yeah. Bad air.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the terms, but,
Sucking
most
gas.
of it, it's just gassing them. Yeah.
If I'm out there sitting on a big flash launch with a handful of social media influencers and maybe a couple of Shortland Street actors sipping bubbles, is there anything I really should know? What should I say? What would be a phrase or a knowledge that you think should be a basic level to make you sound like you should be there?
Abandon ship.
Ahoy, mate.
Oh, I can't really think of anything that you'd come out with there. I mean, you just sort of talk about, they should be tacking now, or he should have ducked that guy there, or he's about to hit the boundary, or whatever. And I mean, they won't have a clue what you're talking about. So.
Who has the right of way? I just say put down your social media. Now take a beautiful picture of you on the boat. Who has the right of way? Like, is it like a car where you have to give way to the right or the left? Or?
Well, it's actually, this right of way is quite easy. If you've got the wind on your right, you're in the right. So
that's easy.
And that's there's 4 basic rules in sailing, and that's one of them. The other one is if you're the windward boat, you've got to give way to the leeward boat. So we've already covered what windward and leeward is. The other one is if you're the front boat, the boat that's following you has to give way. So it's, you just think of it like being in a car driving down a road. So you can't come up and shunt the car in front of you. So and then the other one is going around marks. And if you look at that like a car going around a roundabout, and the mark is the centre of the roundabout, then there's basically a 3 boat length circle, which is, if you imagine the road going around the roundabout. So what happens is that the first car onto that road that's going around the roundabout, they've got the right of way. Everyone else has to give way to them. None of the other rules apply, except there's 3 pages of exceptions to that.
Nose in front, and we'll bring in the lawyers a bit later on. Richard Gladwell, appreciate your time on the program. Sail World New Zealand editor Richard Gladwell. Mark, you don't say to the